A Spider-Man hoodie. I don't think I'm ever wearing this on cam. That's so funny. Hello, hi, welcome to a new vlog, new intro. I'm partially through the book. Hear me out. I wasn't gonna focus and then I decided to. Hello. This is a new-ish vlog series I'm gonna do, which is basically taste testing genres, right? I initially got the idea to do with romantasy. There's like a whole page list of romantasies I want to read. In it, narrowing down my taste in romantasy, right? But in that, there's like other genres I could do, like cozy fantasy, cozy mysteries are also an option for that. And also, what we're all here for, dark romance. Maybe be like, bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? There's like 10 hours almost of podcast episodes on just one dark romantasy series on your podcast. That would be accurate. Yes, there is. Mindfuck, I have read all of Mindfuck. I did like it. Looking back, I don't think I think the fact that it was new for me, new genre, new experience, I liked it more than I would if I were to read it now. That being said, I think the first one I would still really enjoy. The first one I think is my favorite. I think I would rather reread the first one, right? Now here's another thing that you may not know. Haunting Adeline duology, that is it Cat and Mouse? Is that the name of the duology? I don't remember. What's supposed to be for the podcast? That was supposed to be a thing. And it never happened because I couldn't get through it. I couldn't get through the first one. I read like just short of halfway through. Once the gun scene, we all know the gun scene. He sticks, it's a stalker romancer, he sticks the gun up her hoo-ha. And somehow she gets off to it. I don't. Okay. There's like also this whole thing where like her grandmother was stalked and fell in love with her stalker. And that was like a whole thing. I don't know. What in one of my friend groups there was somebody, the person you would least expect to have read it, honestly, did read it and told me, yeah, it's not worth it. If you don't if you're already not having a time now, just don't finish it. So I didn't. The fish was like, no, give up, stop it. And then I did, and now that was like basically the end of the podcast of last year. So, you know, fun. So here I am reading Butcher and Blackbird, which is labeled primarily dark romance on Goodreads. That was like the first category, so I'm counting it. Even though I am just short of a third of the way through. Yeah, just short of a third of the way through, which actually I've been reading it for 4 days. We're not talking about it. In my personal defense, I started it when I had a fever. And so that's why I haven't read much. But it's gonna be returned to the library tomorrow. So it's the first book for the romantasy version of this. So funny. So I gotta speed read. I gotta read these bitches, okay? And so maybe if I'm vlogging it, I'll read more. Right? You know how that works? This also means I have to figure out some other dark romances I have to read. I recognize this exact moment. I guess I gotta go on Libby after this. Anyways, I'm dealing with 2 thought processes right now, which is I am liking it, I guess. It's very on the nose about this whole aspect, right? They're both serial killers, and it's a romance between 2 serial killers who hunt down serial killers, right? And there's 2 things about that process. One, I don't know if I'm going to continue the series after this, because every single time I see somebody who liked Butcher and Blackbird and continues the series doesn't like the other 2 as much. So like, is there a point for me to continue the series? Right? That's my first thought process. The second process is, despite the fact that I'm seeing pedophiles get murdered and reading about how she sucks men's eyeballs out of their heads or scoops them out, to keep as trophies, and how he finds that super hot, right? Like these are things I'm reading, but it's not that dark. Like, the way it's written in such a way where it's very similar to your typical contemporary romance rom-com. So, if you combine those two aspects, it makes it more digestible and enjoyable. So I'm liking that. But it also, because that doesn't feel like a real dark romance. Right? Right? Naomi Peace, I would like to know, I did just have the thought, what if I read Den of Vipers for that? I'm not doing that. Fuck no. Anyways, I'm like a third of the way through, and my thought process is fine. It'll probably be a 3.5 or a 4. I don't know if I'm going to do the series. I'm gonna finish it tonight before I go to bed. Am I tired? Yes, because I just got over having a fever, but we're not talking about it. But yeah, that means I'll like update you either in the morning or late at night. With thoughts, maybe I'll update you in between. I don't think so. One thing I'll give is, because of the typical rom-com writing style, it is very easy and digestible. Well, I mean, I already said it's digestible, but like, it's reading very fast. Like, I'm breezing through it. Like, I have just under 300 pages left. I have like 200-ish something. I don't know how many pages left. I have over 200 pages left. I know that for a fact. And my Kindle says I have 4 hours left. You know how fast that is for me? Anyways, that's the thing. I mean, does the Paul Hirschman series count as dark romance? Kind of. They're dark romance, paranormal romances. Here's the thing I've learned about myself. I like paranormal romances more than romantasy, I think. We're not talking about that right now. Different video. Hello, hi. Fun update here. So at like 10:30, I got the EP. Okay, I'm still healing from being sick, so I just went to bed. I didn't finish book, and my plan was to finish it today. And I had like an hour and a half left. I don't know how far I am. I don't know. So like, my library loan returned, which was fine because I already had it out again. I just had to resend it to my Kindle, except I accidentally sent it to the wrong account. Yep. So instead, I had to return it again and put it on hold. I am 255th in line. But there are 200 copies here, and usually people go through really fast. Like, I had like a 7-week wait, and I got in like 2. So I'm hoping I can get it back soon. I don't know how far I was in, and I would like to be able to log how far I was in. Also, I was in the middle of the scene, and also middle of the chapter, which was also the first sex scene. Yeah, I am feeling physical pain. Thanks for asking. Anyways, things I learned about myself in reading dark romance. I was talking to people about this. I like dark romances. So here's the thing. In a straight romance, I prefer if the woman in the relationship has agency, slash is the one in control. I like those in my romances. Which, in most dark romances, especially straight ones, that's not a thing, man. That's not a thing. So, like, in comparison, Mindfuck, that one, she was the one who was a serial killer. She was the dangerous one. Like, yes, he was the FBI hunting her down, technically, but she was the one making him run in circles, right? She was the one with the knowledge. She knew that that's what he did, and also she was the one he was hunting for, and stuff like that. Meanwhile, Hunting Adeline, no, she's just the victim. So, yeah, I think that's why I didn't like that one. I think that is why I don't know how it'd be in a gay one, but I haven't seen many. I can't think of any right now. Gay dark romances off the top of my head. I did put one on hold, and I got 2 others out already from the library as audiobooks. So I know what the other books for this are going to be. That's fine. That's great. We love that for me. We love that. That reminds me, I should write down the other one. But where was I? Me speaking words. Yeah, so that's like a thing where, because in this one, they're both serial killers. Like, yes, he's the dangerous one, but she's also equally as dangerous, and he knows this about her and likes that. Like, that's the thing. Like, the fact that they are both the predator in this, and they both recognize it, and it's almost like he, like, bows down to her, kind of like he gives her the power to control him, because that's what he like wants. He likes when she's in control, right? One, when they're killing people together, so why not at another point? Right? So I think that's why I'm liking it. That being said, I say liking it, I'm not minding it. I'm not minding Butcher and Blackbird. The thing is, like, the writing style is fine. It's typical contemporary romance. I was just explaining this to my sister. It's typical contemporary romance writing style, and it's fine, I guess. I'm just sitting here kind of bored. I don't know what's wrong with me, though, because this is not the type of book that you're bored to, right? So I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, that's just a thing. That's my thoughts and opinions on it. I'm gonna cry about this book now. Oh, we're back in the pink hoodie. I'm always wearing this thing. Hi. I'm real sad I didn't update you yesterday when I was full face. Well, not full face, but I had makeup on. It was a time. I had a time. It was fun. Finishing the other book I had to read. But I did also read like 2 more chapters of this. I would, like, Butcher and Blackbird did come back like a few hours after that whole mess up. Not talking about it. I was 66% of the way through, by the way. Anyways, yesterday was the day after that. Read a few chapters before I went to bed, but I took a Benadryl because allergies. And listen, Benadryl's never affected me like this, but it conked me the fuck out before 10 p.m. According to my watch, I slept for 9 hours. I'm just gonna accept my body needed it, because still healing from the fact that I was dying last weekend. So that's fun. Plus, I did wake up with a little bit of a migraine, hence the hoodie. I'm better now. Anyways, I saved the last, like, 80-ish pages for today. I don't know, the last, like, 100 pages or so, it was a slog. Honestly, to pick it back up after everything. Like, I was still in the middle of a scene. Like, I finished that chapter I was on when that happened, when I got it back, which was, like, 1 page. I was so annoyed. But it was still the same scene for the next chapter, and I didn't, like, continue that until last night. And, yeah, I can't, I think partially is that the whole ordeal kind of ruined the progression, you know what I'm trying to say, ruined, what I was going, like, the experience of reading it in that moment, which is fine, or whatever, but also, then, like, we all know the third act breakup is coming up, because it's dark romance, and they are both serial killers. I was expecting something, where one of them was gonna be in danger, maybe one of them was gonna be arrested by the FBI, fucking finally, all this stuff, right? And so, when it happened, and I had guessed it 100 pages before, and it went exactly how I expected, and I just sat there reading it, just being like, oh, okay. I had an hour left of reading. I picked it up as soon as I woke up this morning at 8 o'clock. It is now 3:18. That's how long it took me to read. The last 60-ish pages took me like 3 hours, okay? I started reading the last 65 pages at noon, okay? because I just kept on putting it down and doing something else. I would put it down and do something else, like anything else. I was not having a good time. Though I am blaming, because I'm blaming the whole ordeal. I think it wouldn't have been as bad if I was still in the flow, right? So I'm keeping it at a 3, but we should all recognize that maybe it should be a 2.5. Right? And at least I don't have to add another series to my currently reading. So, woo. It did start to set up at the end for the next one, and I was like, I don't care about this. Like, I don't care about Lurk or Lucius. Like, cool, I guess. Bye. I already talked about what I think this taught me, which is basically, there was another thing. I was watching a video on another dark romance that controversy about. You can probably guess what I'm talking about. And with watching that video, it's like kind of connected to what I learned in reading this one, which is that, like, one, I like it when the female main character has agency, which is why I don't think I like stalker romances. But also, like, another aspect is this is consent, which is what I learned from that video. Well, I clocked it in that video. I was like, okay, so it's all connected, which makes sense, and it's making me think of, is it Desperate Measures by Katie Robert, and whatnot. But, like, I knew about that beforehand, and that it was dubious, and also knew, like, they talk about it at a later point, the characters do, in which they talk about the fact that she was into it, and it is a thing that they both like to do. And that is a basis in the relationship, that they like to do this. This is a thing for them, which is a very important thing to Katie Robert. Which reminds me, I'm not going to do in this video, but at some point, I gotta figure out who the author is. Katie Robert, I saw, was talking about, I think this was around the time that I was reading Haunting Adeline, that's why it's stuck in my head, how she really dislikes stalker romances. But there's this one author she reads, because her stalker romances are Katie Robert's favorites. So I was like, I should pick up one of those. So I wrote it down somewhere. I gotta find it, and maybe one day I'll pick one up. So otherwise, I don't think stalker romances are for me. Thank you very much. But yeah, no. Yeah, that's the update. I finished a book, fucking finally. It killed me. I want to go read. No, what's funny? The paranormal romance Vampire Smut series I'm reading right now also could be considered dark romance. It's like dark paranormal romance, especially book 3, and I'm enjoying it much more. And I don't know what that says about me. Anyways, I'm gonna go read the next book in that series, because this was apparently the 16th books I read this year, and so obviously I needed to read Vampire Smut for book 69. So that's that. You'll probably see this vlog sooner rather than later. I am recording other ones in this, like, series right now, but this one is probably gonna be the first one you see, because I did get the 4th one accidentally, because I was only gonna do 3 for each of these, 3-ish. But I think that 4th one's gonna be a DNF. Based off of Books and Laws, the most recent video, whoops, or vlog. So, yeah, I have all those out from Libby right now, so I'll read them sooner rather than later, right? Maybe I'll read one next. I don't know, we'll see. Especially since 2 of them I have as audiobooks, so I can just speed through them. Anyways, I read it. It was fine. I think as just, like, a normal contemporary romance, it was also fine, because once the relationship started, I was just, like, bored. Once it left the actual dark aspect and leaned more into the actual romance, I was just sitting there bored. Which is around the time when everything went down. So, you know, that was fun. I'm gonna go read Vampire Smut and be happy, because I'm a normal person. Goodbye until the next book I read for this. Hello, hi. If you hear my sister playing Stardew downstairs, no, you don't. Anyways, I'm here to tell you about Gothic Kana. Okay, hear me out. I did it for the joke. I knew I wouldn't like this because I knew before I picked it up he is her professor. He's like a part-time professor while he's doing his thesis at this private university that's in a gothic castle that nobody knows about, right? In the middle of nowhere, it's all this stuff. So I knew, like all the girls that grew up watching Pretty Little Liars, I think we all clock, bitch, what the fuck? What the fuck? That's one of the reasons why, honestly, a lot of the same reasons that I DNF'd this is why I did not continue with the Zodiac Academy after book 1. Okay? Because while the teacher-student relationship in that one was the only relationship I even somewhat enjoyed, that was still teacher and student, so I was still like, nah, bitch. Nah, bitch. And then the second thing is the writing style. I mean this in the kindest way. I was like planning to like finish chapter 1. I didn't even finish chapter 1. I just read like 15 pages. Exactly. It says it on my Kindle right now. I did highlight the first line on the first chapter because that gives you an idea immediately. I read it and then I went, oh no, because it gives, I mean this in the nicest way, it gives how I wrote fanfic in middle school. It was my initial vibe. And then she meets Corvina, is that how you pronounce her name? Meets literally I just put down the book. What's her name? Jade. She just met Jade, who is the first other student at the school she's met. And the only things we know so far is that this place is creepy, locals don't go there, and Corvina kind of grew up in solitary, so she's not used to talking, right? Also a bunch of weird witchy stuff in her childhood, and then being like, my mother's not a witch, bitch. Anyways, so she meets Jade, which is the first student she meets, who has this ability to never fucking stop talking. And then, and as she's talking repeatedly, Corvina is thinking, oh my god, I like her because I'll never have to talk to her because she'll do all the talking for me. It's so nice meeting somebody who talks so much. And then Jade says, literally, right after she's done thinking that, Jade says, wow, you don't talk much, do you? As she's been talking nonstop this whole time. And then Jade's like, hey, you want to be roomies? And I thought Corvina was going to be like, because when she got her admission letter and all that fun stuff, part of the information she got was that she was going to have a roommate and all this stuff. So I thought, in my big brain, I thought she was going to have a roommate already picked out, because, like, that's normal. You don't show up on the day of and have you choose a roommate. No, that's not how it works. So I thought she was gonna be like, oh, sorry, I already have a roommate. I don't know who it is, though. But then she goes, sure, thanks. I'd love that. And then the head of admissions comes out, introduces herself to them, and then goes, okay, so you two are roommates? Like, administration made them roommates a page after they decided they're gonna be roommates. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Like, the writing makes no sense already, and I'm only 15 pages in. Anyways, DNF, and I'm gonna leave you off with the greatest line. Black, it was the absence of color, the keeper of dark, the abyss of unknowns. Anyways, I'm gonna DNF this one. This was for the joke. This was for the joke. I knew this wasn't gonna be for me. Just based off the dark romance premise, okay? Do I have like 4 more? 3 or 4 more? I want to say 3. Yeah, I have 3 more out from the library as audio. 2 of them I also have the ebooks. To read for this. So pray for me to actually do that. I'm in a slump right now. That's another thing. This is not the time for me to be reading dark romance because I am in a slump. But alas, this is the world we live in. Oh, hi, I'm here to quickly tell you I DNF'd another one. I think this reading vlog's bringing me a slump because I know I should be reading the books for this vlog and I should be picking them up because it's supposed to go up in like 5 days. But I keep on not doing that, and because I feel bad if I pick up another book, I read like maybe a chapter of a different book each day, and then don't do anything else. And that's been April for me. So yeah. Anyways, at the end of Hooked. And my thoughts and opinions are one, what was that audiobook? Oh my god. I think the way they voice, especially like side characters in general, but especially what's supposed to be like the closest thing to friends both the characters have. Um, I think the way they voiced them, both the narrators did, grated against something inside me. It was that's how I woke up this morning listening to it, and I went, you know, oh my god, like no. Also, the way, because he has a British accent, so the way that she narrates his voice during her chapters also wasn't the best. Like, imagine a woman, American woman, trying to do a deep masculine voice, but also a British accent at the same time. Like, no. Besides that, I don't know why this was on like my actual TBR. I don't like Peter Pan retellings. And then I read the synopsis right before I went to pick it up, and I went, I could just reread the Katie Robert from the Wicked Villain series, A Worthy Opponent. Honestly, if you like this book, go pick that one up. It's much better, in my opinion. Furthermore, I did look at reviews of people who I trust when it comes to romance wrecks, right? All of them, all those people rated it below 3 stars, like 2 or 2.5 stars. And one of them was like literally putting in examples of the steamy scenes because I did not get that far. And I got 10% in. Yeah, I got 10% in. It's fine. Anyways, the steamy scenes, and and I sat there like, bitch, the fuck is this? I think that's why I like Worthy Opponent more, because Worthy Opponent is, like in this one, Hook is getting revenge on Peter Pan, and so he's using Wendy. In A Worthy Opponent, Hook wants revenge on Pan, so he he hits up Pan's ex, who also wants revenge, and it's a mutual like being together to defeat Pan type thing. And also, furthermore, it's giving in that one, yeah, I'm using you to get revenge on this guy, but also I kind of also am doing it because I like you. So far this one is giving vibes of, she's so innocent, I must defile her because her father. Like, I haven't gone that far, but you cannot tell me he was not thinking of her father when they were doing it. I'm not into that. If I wanted that, I would read, I think it's called Learn My Lesson, the second book in the Wicked Villain series. Because that was kind of funny. That was, Also, I cannot tell from the synopsis whether or not Wendy knows that Hook is her father's arch nemesis. And so I'm pretty sure she doesn't know she's being used the whole time. Also not into that. Hear me out. Anyways, I'm gonna go start the next one. I think the next one I'll read is Twisted Love. Is that the name of it? That's the other one I also have the ebook of because of Kindle Unlimited. And then if I DNF that one, I'll just move to Lights Out. This is going great. Whoops. Yes, we are ignoring the giant. I don't... Pimple. This is why I didn't update you last night, because I was doing a spot cream thing with Jiggy on it. But I did read all of Twisted Love yesterday. I kind of, like, I was scared to pick it up after Hooked, because I was like, oh no. Oh no. Right? So then I'm out of my surprise when I pick it up, and I'm having a good time. It's funny because after I was like 20% in, I did look at some reviews on Goodreads of people I trust, and one of them complained about the audiobook, and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's much better than the Hooked one, which I stand by. But the main complaint she had was that the female narrator whispers half her lines, especially his lines in her chapters. And after I read that, I couldn't unhear it, but it didn't bother me that much. Except for that chunk that was just like all Ava's chapters. I didn't mind it. Anyways, this is technically a billionaire romance. Listen, I spent the whole time reading it up until like, around the last 20% when shit starts happening, being like, I don't think this is dark romance, okay? So like, it follows Ava, who's her brother's very protective of her. There was a thing when she was a child where her mother tried to drown her, and she doesn't have a lot of memories of her childhood because of that. And so he's very protective, but he is doing like a Doctors Without Borders kind of internship thing, I don't know, in Central America. He's leaving for a year, so somebody needs to come and take care of her because she can't take care of herself. And so cue his best friend Alex. My favorite part about Alex is that his parents were Ukrainian immigrants, or at least his father was, and his uncle was. And the narrator does give his uncle a Ukrainian accent, but Alex has a British accent. Anyways, he has a dark, tragic past too. And he's getting revenge, and he's a top CEO. He's like hella rich. And Josh is like his only friend. They're best friends, and so Josh is like, hey, my dude, you should watch over my sister because I know you would never fuck her. And also, she's got like an ex who is kind of bothering her a lot. And so I just need to make like sure that he doesn't try anything, and then also make sure she doesn't get in too much trouble, right? So he moves into the house right next door to her, which is her brother's place, Josh's place, and it's just them having to deal with close proximity, her ex being a jackass, and him saving her one of the times. She saves herself one of the times too. Him opening himself up to her and helping her get over her fears based off of her trauma, and her trying to like melt his heart. I would like to note they don't start banging until like halfway through. And then I just realized you can see my laundry. No, you don't. You don't see this. I turned it a little too far that direction. Whoops. Anyways, so that's a thing. And then, so like his trauma has to do with the fact that he witnessed both his parents and his sister get murdered, and he believes it was a rival company hired the guys to do it. Okay, now this is where we get to spoiler land, because I briefly in my brain went, what if it's Ava's father? And I went, no way. And then I went, what if it's actually his uncle? No way. Hear me out. It was his uncle who framed her father. Now, this is where it starts getting into the dark romance, because then, like, his uncle, like, kidnaps her, and there's a bunch of, like, stuff with that, and he's, like, out here killing people, and all this stuff. And I was, like, having a good time, though the random, like, jump cut, I don't know how much time passed between the previous chapter and the chapter that she's kidnapped, that was weird. And then, like, the rest of the book was just a bunch of jumps in time over periods of time of, like, her trying to heal from the fact that, you know, the boyfriend who she loved, apparently was using her to get revenge on her father, who, by the way, it wasn't her mother who tried to kill her, it was her father, not once, but twice, and it tries to gaslight her into thinking that, you know, she made it all up. Thank you. I would like to clock Alex for handling that and be like, no, I already did the research, and also I have the FBI here, and also I recorded it all, and also I made sure Josh was here to overhear it all, so there's no way that her brother could be like, I don't know if you're telling the truth. So, you know, also her father wasn't her biological father. That's like another thing. Oh, so, you know, just that's like a thing. So she's trying to handle the two men she's supposed to love the most in her life betraying her and lying to her. So it's a lot. And so she like tries to go to London to do her dream photography program to like heal and grow and get some distance, and he literally follows and stalks her there, and it's just like a year of him basically stalking her until she relents and they're back together, yay. And then it sets up the second one. I would like to know. I did put the second one on my TBR. I did put the series on my series list. Second one, I'm not sure about, but the third and fourth one, I think I will enjoy. Because this wasn't bad. It wasn't good either, but it wasn't bad. And I was up until like right after the kidnapping thing and her, like him making her believe, like in Butcher and Blackbird, that it was all part of his plan, right? And it was all a lie. Um, but at least in Butcher and Blackbird, I will give them. I will give it this. They make communication a very important part of their relationship. So right afterwards, she's all like, "No, that was fake. We love each other. Okay. In this one." In Twisted Love, that's not how it goes. He needs to protect her more, and the only way he knows to protect her is by sending her away. And so he tells her that uh he wasn't lying about lying. And once it hit that point, I was just so annoyed. I was so annoyed. It was like 4 stars before that. Like, it wasn't good, but I was having a great time, which is much better than like every other book I've read for this vlog. Okay, I was having a great fucking time, and then it did that to me, and so after that, it just went downhill very fast, and I was bored, and so it's a 3.5. Before that, it was a 4. And that's my final thoughts on it. What I've learned is what the hell was that? Anyways, there's one more I have to read, but I have to edit this tomorrow, so I'm going to try to read all of Lights Out today, which is 13 and a half hours. This one is actually like straight up dark romance. Like, he stalks her, but it's like light stalking because she did in a drunk DM ask him to do it. That's kind of vibe we're getting. But then there's somebody else who is also stalking her, and so he gotta protect her from this other guy who also wants his woman. I don't know. I'll read it. The reviews people I trust were like, once it reaches the 50% mark when it's just them banging, apparently it gets very boring, which is so funny to me. But two, the general consensus from the main person I trust on this type of romance, or romance in general, was that it's Lights Out is kind of tame, like tamer than you would expect reading the synopsis, and so it's a good first step dark romance for those who want to try it out, which is why it is good for this vlog. Also, like him in the romance, the book is stalking me. You know that phenomenon where like you notice like a certain kind of car on the road, and then you see that car everywhere, that same type of car everywhere. Yeah, you know that phenomenon. That's me with Lights Out. Like randomly one booktuber read it, and I was like, oh, that intrigues me. Maybe I'll read it at some point. And then I saw another one read it, and then it was available at my library, and I was like, maybe I'll read it. And then another friend told me that she bought it, and then the fish was talking about audiobooks and one that they were going to reread, and in the screenshot they sent me asking if they should do it, right next to the book they were thinking about rereading was Lights Out. It's following me, it's stalking me, so I'm gonna read it, and we'll see. Oh my god, third time's the charm editing me can record this clip. Mike, please. Mike, please. This is all to tell you that Lights Out is stalking me more than I know, because the other book club, not the one I run, but the one that I'm on for, the pick for the smutty book in April, was Lights Out. And I just forgot about it because it just left my brain as soon as I saw the graphics for it, because I was like, I'm not gonna read that. And then I went to do posts for the book club, and lo and behold, look at me now. And that's how this will end. this may have to be like I update you first thing in the morning and then I edit this whole thing tomorrow night, like type thing. Like that may be what happens. We'll see. Goodbye. I hope I finish in time. That's the other thing. I may just get like halfway through and then be like, okay, end of vlog. Like we'll see. If it's just banging at the ending. But yeah, that's the update. I read a book and I enjoyed it. Fucking miracle until the end. Fucking miracle, honestly. You know, I would normally, this has happened before. I remember at one point I had an eye infection that was so bad and I had to wear sunglasses whenever I updated because it was disgusting. Yeah, it looks like my pimple gave me a black eye. It's so swollen and it hurts a little bit. Okay, it's the pimple that's hurting, not actually underneath my eye. It's kind of funny and it's making my glasses sit on my face weird and I can't see at certain further way down because it's just swollen and it's getting worse and I feel fine about it and I think it's only noticeable to me. Editing me will see in like 2 hours. Speaking of which, I gotta end this. I didn't finish Lights Out. I read to chapter 7%. I am enjoying it. I am enjoying it. I was worried when I read in the synopsis that like he makes thirst traps and she leaves comments saying what she wants him to do to her, and so he stalks her to do those. I am at the stalking part. I would like to note this. But it hear me out. Hear me out. He already knows her briefly. Because one of the guys she kind of was seeing is his roommate, who is like his only friend. Also, there's a lot of stuff in his POV about his father was a serial killer, and so he's worried that like this is a sign of like some serial killer gene, especially since he looks exactly like his dad, which is why he wears masks in his thirst traps, right? So it, like there's reasoning to why all this shit's happening. And so yeah, no, he is worried that it's another side, but also when his fantasies about it when he's by himself, stroking one out. If it comes to like him hurting her, it's like no, nope. Nothing's hard anymore. God, why am I like this? So you know, I'd like to be able to see. You know, maybe I will finish today because I have another audiobook. I have 2 audiobooks I'm now in the middle of. Right? And there's a good chance I will finish this one first because I am liking it more than the other one. Like, this will just be like when I have an audiobook for when I'm just around doing shit, and this will be the one I'll probably pick up over the other one, which is great because the other one's shorter and I'm further along in it, if that tells you anything about that one. I'm stubborn. That's what it tells you. Anyways, yeah, so that's the thing. They already know each other. Also, it seems like she already has agency somewhat in the story. Like she's an ER nurse in the middle of the city. She sees dark things. Right? And so you know, I love that. Because if there's anything we learn from this vlog, I need the female main character to have agency. And bonus points if she does some of the darkness as well, a la Butcher and Blackbird and the Mindfuck series. Speaking of which, I haven't got it ever, but in Lights Out, the tagline on the cover does say, who slays together stays together. And I know there's like somebody else ends up stalking her and something, and he's gonna protect her. So like, do they take him down together? I'm down. I'm so down. Anyways, you know, I'm liking it. The audiobook, here's one thing. I don't like when audiobooks do it. I know other people do. It's not full on dramatized audiobook, but in like her POVs when he says something, or it's like his messages or his thoughts or anything like that, or the other way around, like when it was like him reading all her comments on his thirst traps in his POV. It's done in the person's who's saying it, texting it, whatever, that person, that narrator's voicing it, which is fine. I just don't like it that much because it makes my brain go wait, what? Every time. That's just a thing. But I know that most people aren't me and do like that. So also, excuse me, I do like how this one has content warnings at the beginning. Twisted Love did not, though it did have a link to our website that has all of them. Cause she's like, I don't want you to be spoiled. Bitch, it's not spoilers. I've got some opinions about that. Whole dialogue, but you know, whatever. But this one has them all in the beginning. Including the, but not limited, like all the things, but also like all the things, sexually. So you know what you're getting yourself into, which I enjoy. Excuse me, what do you mean non-consensual cannibalism? Anyways, I got so much editing to do, and other things, and I want to try to take care of this mess. We're not just gonna, just in case it is beautiful. Now you don't have to worry about it. Wednesday's gaming videos here. I don't have one for next week pre-filmed, so that's gonna be fun. I am slightly stressed about that. Shush. Fridays, 2 Fridays a month, there is the podcast, which there is one this week. That's what I did yesterday, recording it. I gotta edit it, and I gotta edit this. Saturdays is BookTok videos, usually bada bing, bada boom. Next week is, if I remember properly, 24-hour vlog, but like where you're actually reading for 24 hours, not like in 24 hours, okay, timer's up. It's like every time you stop reading, just pause the timer, type 24 hours. You know, one of those. That's everything. At least it doesn't hurt when I blink. Maybe if I drink some tea. I'm gonna go drink coffee, but maybe if I drink some tea.